Cabinet condemned the viral circulation of fake videos and images claiming to be attacks of foreign nationals in South Africa. The fake videos and images are not only fake, but they are intended to undermine the good reputation of South Africa internationally and undermine South Africa's pursuit of a better Africa agenda. South Africans are within their right to protest against the spiraling illegal immigration challenge, but violence linked to those protests in the past is not acceptable, and law enforcement must deal with the instigators of such violence decisively. Africa includes all people of all races who are Africans and South Africans. It also calls on all Africans to work together in driving the development and progress of the continent so that no one area is more developed than the other, and that we must intervene to make sure that as Africa we stand together for common progress and for the rising of the African continent. As we commemorate Africa Month, we recognize our achievements while taking stock of progress made towards realizing the vision of the African Union of Agenda 2060 for a united and prosperous Africa. In South Africa, we talk of a better Africa. To intervene to minimize the high cost of the price of fuel as a result of the continuing US-Israeli war in Iran that has also impacted the Gulf region. Cabinet supported the 17.2 billion fuel levy subsidy as announced by the Minister of Finance that will be expanded over a 3-month period from April to June 2026. And the Interministerial Task Team continues to evaluate other interventions to minimize the impact of the global fuel and fertilizer shortage on South Africans. Cabinet has also directed the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, supported by the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, to coordinate a SADC response to assure security of fuel and fertilizer and supply in the region. On international relations, immigration addresses constraints with current immigration laws by introducing provisions of first country of safety principle, moving refugee reception centers nearest to the border, and a clause to enable relevant departments to designate certain trades, professions, and businesses only for South Africans and refugees. On cabinet decisions, the revised white paper on local government 2026 as part of our commitment to fix local government. Cabinet approved the gazetting of the revised draft white paper on local government for public consultation. The revised white paper is part of the local government reforms of fixing local government. The comprehensive AFC-FTA agreement presents strategic opportunities to unlock economic potential, expand export markets, deepen industrial value chains, promote investment, and drive sustainable growth. Since South Africa's launch of trade under the Africa Free Continental Free Trade Area, preferential terms from January 2024 to February 2026, the trade increased to 2.6 billion, spanning a diverse range of products such as mining equipment, appliances, food items, apparel, plastics, and electrical machinery. On the Hammarsdale Clean Water Supply, Cabinet received progress report on the Hammarsdale Clean Water project that is driven by the Magalies Water under the Department of Water and Sanitation and the City of Tshwane. Upon completion, the project will provide potable water to approximately 47,550 households, saving an estimated 180,679 residents. Cabinet noted that all 4 modules on the part of the project, which is delivered under Magalies Water, has been constructed and tested, enabling the system to produce up to 50 million liters of treated water per day. The Minister of Water and Sanitation will later in the week inspect the project and outstanding works by the City of Tshwane to ensure full access to water for the communities of Hammanskraal. The department also updated Cabinet on progress with unblocking blocked water project and status of municipal debts to water boards, which pose a severe risk to water security and the financial viability of these boards. Welcome the winter electricity outlook presented by Eskom, which indicated that load shedding is unlikely between April and August, marking a significant turning point in our nation's energy journey. Cabinet further welcomed progress in addressing load reduction, with 352,968 customers no longer affected by load reduction during peak periods. Load reduction has been eliminated in the provinces of the Northern Cape and Western Cape, with the next 5 provinces due for load reduction elimination later in 2026, and only Gauteng and KZN will have their load reduction challenges eliminated by 2025. It's also important to explain the challenges of Gauteng and KZN is due to the slow acceptance of the prepaid meter system and the continued illegal connections of electricity, in particular in informal settlements. Cabinet approved the submission of the 2026 Children's Act Amendment Bill to Parliament. The Children's Act Amendment Bill seeks to streamline the fragmented early childhood development programs and regulations that were overseen under Chapter 5 of the Act by different authorities to a consolidated ECD regulation under the revised Chapter 6 of the Amendment Bill under the sole responsibility of the Department of Basic Education. The Amendment Bill introduces a single registration process for ECD centers and one set of norms and standards for the ECD program. The draft Nuclear Energy Amendment Bill 2025, Cabinet approved the publication of the draft Nuclear Energy Amendment Bill of 2025 for public consultation. The draft bill amends the Nuclear Energy Act of 1999, which provides the legislative framework for South Africa's participation in international trade in nuclear material and technology. The bill addresses the regulatory gaps resulting from developments in the global and domestic